because people there can see apparently according to Chris. Okay, so thank you. Welcome everybody to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. I'm President-elect Tom Law Jr. I'm happy to see everyone here today. Let's welcome to the stage for our invocation Johnny Reiser, Financial Advisor Edward Jones, followed by past President Doug Briley, Fractional CMO and Marketing Consultant Douglas Briley Consulting LLC, playing our national anthem.
Good afternoon, happy Friday. May we bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the privilege of gathering together today in a city built by the people who believed in hard work, integrity, and service to others. We thank you for Fort Worth, for this Rotary Club, and for the men and women here who have used their leadership, influence, and generosity to strengthen our community and serve those in need. As we approach Mother's Day, we also pause to thank you for the mothers, grandmothers, wives, and women who shape lives through sacrifice, strength, wisdom, and love. Bless them, encourage them, and remind them how deeply valued they are. And lastly, remind us that all true success is not measured by what we gain, but by what we give. May our conversations carry wisdom, our work carry lasting good, and our lives reflect the calling of service above self. Bless this fellowship, bless the city, and guide us to lead with humility, courage, and purpose. Amen. Let us begin.
That sounded great, everybody. I've listened to this, as many of you have, on the recording before, and it really sounds like a choir, so it's very, very, very well done. So thank you, Johnny, and past President Doug. Now, Linda Boswell will join us to introduce guests and visiting Rotarians. Linda is a partner and senior advisor at Transworld Business Advisors. So please, everybody, listen to what Linda has to say. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here to introduce our guests. So when we call your name, we'd ask that you please stand and be recognized. The first one we have is Madeline Mazurek, guest of Candace Metalik. Okay. We have Isabel Cable, and she's a guest of Brandon Chakowski. And Brandon has also brought Pastor Lance Cashin with us today. All right, Mike Herman has brought Mary Hager, Tim Harmon, and Michael Disselhorst. Thank you for being here. Today we also have Gary Stout has brought Dalen Harris, Michael Gatton, and Janice Meeks. Reverend Kristen Claudet has been brought by Scott Hackler. And also Tara Frost by Sade Kalani. We thank you all for being here today. Have a good one.
You know, that was actually impromptu. She had what looked like a script with her, but one of our people who was supposed to do that was not here today, so thanks for filling in. ring here on the microphone. If I can turn that down a little bit. I want to take a moment to thank all those who've worked to produce our meeting today, and each week consider the many volunteers, some of whom you've seen this morning and most of whom you have not, who contribute their time to making each Friday an enjoyable, humorous, and informative experience. At least I think it is that way. Your fellow Rotarians at the entry area, your greeters, the AV team, one of my favorites too. And thanks to all the club director, our own Aurora Newberry, for all the behind-the-scenes work. And there's many committee chairs and members working diligently across the month, giving their time and service to the club. If you are not serving on one of our many committees, please speak to any of the club officers or Aurora or myself about doing so. Remember, service above self is the principal motto of Rotary, representing the organization's core philosophy and unselfish volunteer service. And regardless of your tenure, our club needs your participation. So again, a round of applause for each of you, for yourselves, for doing what you're doing. Now let's recite the four-way test. I'm going to tell you to the guests that are here today, and we have quite a few of them, and it's good to see you all. It's a ethical guide that Rotarians have used for over 80 years to measure everything we think, say, and do. And it's our way of ensuring we stay on the right track. What makes it unique is that it doesn't bark orders at us. It simply asks 4 questions that help us examine our own behavior and decisions. Let's all remember to think about this throughout our entire day. Ready? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Now, having said that, there's just 3 minutes today that the 4-way test should be suspended, and nobody should be surprised. Coincidentally, that's right now. Please welcome our newscaster, Ed McClin, insurance advisor, Champion Commercial Insurance.
I'm so glad you asked that. Thanks, President-elect Tom Law Jr. I feel about as welcome as a ballerina at a biker bar. Okay, well, chalk that one up to ChatGPT. To the disappointment of those who enjoy flying third class, Spirit Airlines ceased operations this week. They announced that all flights have been canceled and that customer service is no longer available. But I believe that held true most of the time they were actually in business. At least Spirit died doing what they loved best, which is being the worst airline in the history of the world. If you were booked on a Spirit airline flight over the weekend, you just got upgraded to not having one. Who will take their place at the bottom? My bet's on either Frontier or Allegiant. Okay. Tuesday was the annual Cinco de Mayo celebration, which, by the way, is not Mexican Independence Day. It actually is a day of celebration of a single military victory in 1862 over France in Puebla. However, beer and tequila companies like the way Cinco de Mayo rolls off the tongue much easier than the actual Mexican Independence Day, which is 16 de septiembre. Try saying that after a couple margaritas. Anyway, we had a bonus this year in that Cinco de Mayo is also on Taco Tuesday. It's kind of like St. Patrick's Day falling on National Potato Day. Jeez, okay. On one of my favorite topics, insurance, 3 people in California have been sentenced for insurance fraud in a bizarre scam that involves someone dressed in a bear costume damaging luxury cars. They staged faked attacks inside 3 luxury cars, including 2 Rolls Royces and a Mercedes, and sought $142,000 in payouts from insurance companies. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife biologists reviewed the video footage and concluded it was clearly a human in a bear suit. Investigators found the bear suit and metal utensils used to create fake scratch marks during a search of the suspect's homes. Oh. All right, okay. Speaking of news, Ted Turner passed away this week. He had many achievements, which include winning the America's Cup. He married Barbarella, started the first 20, Barbarella. Nobody remembers that movie? Bob Mitchell, you here somewhere? Come on. Anyway, he married Barbara, started the first 24-hour news channel. He walked into a newsroom and said, "I want the news on 24 hours a day." Everyone laughed. Then he said, "No, really, all day, every day." And that's how the world got used to hearing breaking news about a squirrel with a traffic cone on its head at 3:17 a.m. Had he known Fox News would be a copycat, he probably would have directed his energy on something else. But anyway, he also owned multiple sports teams and most of all started the Turner Classic Movie Channel. He was also one of the largest private landowners in the United States. Okay, and something more interesting to this audience, I hope. Bill Belichick and his much younger lady friend, Jordan Hudson, were spotted at the Kentucky Derby last week. At the betting window, no one could tell which horse Bill bet on, but Jordan clearly put everything on beneficiary. Hey, okay. LA mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt warns that the city reservoir is empty with fire season approaching. My heart goes out to all of those who lost their homes, and of course I'm talking about the producers of Melania, the movie. Okay, all right. In Fort Worth news, there was a bond election this past Saturday, and our zoo has a new baby elephant named Sam Houston. So go out this weekend to the zoo and see the new baby elephant. And finally, hope everyone has a wonderful Mother's Day. There's a 70% chance of rain on Sunday, so you might want to choose an indoor table for brunch. And to paraphrase the great Walter Cronkite, I know Bob Mitchell and at least a dozen people in this room know who he was. That's the way it is, May 8th, 2026. Back to you, Tom.
Hey, for those of you visiting today, you have to understand we do have some decorum and etiquette, and you just witnessed some of it at the beginning of that excellent newscast. And everything what he said was true in some way or another. Also, I want to recognize two other visiting Rotarians from Frisco Rotary, KJ Clark, who's sitting right over here. We're always glad to have visiting Rotarians, and also District 5810 District Governor Mary Badowski. Thanks very much for coming today. Okay, we also have a couple of announcements. First, chairman of our AV team, one of my favorite guys, is Kevin Chakotski. Sorry. Business development, God bless retirement.
Hello, everybody. I need help with the AV committee. So I'm hoping we can get some volunteers. All you have to know is how to plug in an HDMI cable, start a Zoom meeting, put a round peg in a square hole. Whoops. See, this wouldn't happen if I had more volunteers. So, if you would like to volunteer, I need you once a week, right before the meeting. Come see me. Thank you.
And having been a member of that committee for some time, I can't tell you that there's nothing more rewarding than being on the AV committee. There's a lot of good committees, but this is one of the best. So there's those of you out there who know how to run Zoom. Everybody's done that, and also know how to do PowerPoint and how to run a computer, so it's not a problem at all. So we appreciate it. We just need some setup help. Also, next is Dr. Regina Faden, President, Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, to award the first of our spring grants. Just want to make sure she was here. Thanks. All right.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege and pleasure to hand out grant awards on behalf of the club. Our first grant for this spring season is $5,000 to the Center for Transforming Lives. The club's grant of $5,000 from the Children's Fund supports full-day, high-quality early childhood education for low children ages 6 weeks to 5 years. Fort Worth ISD faces a significant readiness gap with only 39% of kindergartners prepared for school, a figure that drops even further for economically disadvantaged students. This initial deficit often leads to a cycle of academic remediation, lower lifetime earnings, and increased public education costs. Compounding this issue, a lack of affordable childcare hinders workforce participation, particularly for single mothers in Tarrant County. Expanding access to high-quality, full-day early education serves as a dual solution. It boosts student developmental outcomes and kindergarten readiness while simultaneously stabilizing the regional economy by enabling parental employment. Ultimately, the investments yield long-term returns through higher education rates and improve family financial stability. So here to accept the grant award is Corey Harris, Chief Development Officer at the Center for Transforming Lives. Okay, our second grant award is for the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. The museum prides itself on being all-inclusive across all aspects of the business and facilities, programs, and support for families with specific needs. As part of this effort, the museum provides sensory backpacks that can be checked out for free. This borrowed kit is filled with tools designed to help visitors, particularly children and adults with autism, ADHD, sensory processing disorders, or anxiety, regulate sensory input and enjoy their visit. The bags provide for calming or stimulation. The club's grant will assist in the replacement of items in the museum's backpacks, including a weighted dinosaur, headphones, fidget toys, and jewelry. Here to accept the $5,000 grant award from the Children's Fund is Tammy McKinney, Vice President of Development and Marketing.
Thanks, Regina. And remember, everyone, those grants are from the result of endowment money that we, interest we earn off in endowment money. Those are important. There's going to be a time to make contributions soon to this, and it's very important that we consider doing so. So thanks very much. Last weekend, Veronica, that's my ex-girlfriend, and I attended the Ballet Theater's performance of Swan Lake. Just like any of their performances, it was absolutely outstanding. And one of the features I personally enjoy is that production is done using real sets and stage pieces, not a massive video screen across the back of the stage, which is what we usually see today. To see these lifted up into the stage fly loft by a behind-the-scenes fly operator, or quickly moved off to the wings by a stagehand, or sometimes a performer, is to me what makes these very authentic and therefore outstanding. And in this case, we saw a swan paddling across the lake as well. It's amazing. If you have not attended any of their shows, please consider doing so for a very special evening. The speakers we're hearing from today might just have something to do with all of that. So introducing our chairperson of the day is Brenda Matamorse Beveridge, Major Gifts Officers, and of course, the Texas Ballet Theater. Brenda.
Good afternoon. I was afraid you guys were going to slow clap, and I was going to have to explain to my bosses. There you go. Okay. That means they love me. So. It is truly an honor to introduce two incredible leaders from Texas Ballet Theater, a company that is not only producing world-class art on stage, but also transforming lives across North Texas through education, community outreach, and cultural investment. Founded in 1961, Texas Ballet Theater serves both Dallas and Fort Worth, and is the resident ballet company of Bass Performing Hall and Winspear Opera House. Under visionary leadership, TBT continues to elevate the arts in our region while making ballet accessible to thousands of children and families each year. Beyond the performances many of us enjoy, TBT's impact in the community is remarkable. Through its community enrichment programs, the organization reaches 46,000 students annually. many from Title I schools across North Texas. Programs like City Dance, student matinees, and in-school dance education introduce children to creativity, discipline, and confidence, and the arts, often for the very first time. Texas Ballet Theater also operates highly respected professional training schools in both Dallas and Fort Worth, helping develop the next generation of dancers and artists. And here, in Fort Worth, TBT is entering one of the most transformational moments in its history with the opening of its new 65,000 square foot company headquarters and theater campus. This building is more than a home for ballet. It is a major investment in the cultural future of Fort Worth. It belongs to this community. And I believe Fort Worth should be incredibly proud that one of the nation's premier ballet companies is building its future city. Today, I am incredibly honored to introduce Rotary to one of the best leaders of the arts that is guiding our future. First, Artistic Director Tim O'Keefe, a native Houstonian. Tim joined Houston Ballet as a young dancer and rose through the ranks to become a principal dancer. In 1997, legendary choreographer Ben Stevenson created the title role of Dracula, specifically for Tim. In addition to a celebrated performance career, Tim has choreographed numerous works and joined Texas Ballet in 2002. After serving as acting artistic director, he was officially named artistic director in 2023. Yes. Under his leadership, TBT continues to grow artistically while deepening, making it deep, its connection to the community. Joining him is interim executive director Jill Caron. Jill is a dynamic executive and entrepreneur with more than 20 years of leadership experience spanning operations, finance, development and marketing, human resources, and project management. Her background in both nonprofit arts administration and real estate investment gives her a unique perspective as TBT expands its footprint and prepares for the future. Rotarians, please join me in welcoming Artistic Director Tim O'Keefe and Interim Executive Director Jill Caron from the Texas Ballet Theater.
Figure this out. Is this on? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, first and foremost, Brenda, for that beautiful introduction. You stole a lot of my material, so it'll be great. No, it's good. Thank you, and thank you for having us here today and allowing us the opportunity to share what's going on in the arts, specifically ballet, and hopefully you'll learn a little something. Where are we at on the slideshow? Okay. So the mission of Texas Ballet Theater is to bring world-class dance to everyone of all backgrounds. We span both Fort Worth, Dallas, and we also have schools in Richardson as well. So we represent the only professional ballet company in North Texas. And first of all, I was going to ask you, how many people have been to a ballet? Just so I know. Oh, great. That's pretty good, Tim. Yeah. Wonderful. As you know, we're currently doing Swan Lake, and we will be premiering it next weekend at Bass Performance Hall. And we have, I believe, a 20% promotion for all the Rotary members if you're interested in getting tickets. What we've started doing on Saturday evenings, starting around 7, is launching Tim Talks, which are kind of fun. You're welcome to come to that. It's like a little cocktail party where Tim comes and just explains a little bit behind the scenes of, you know, what's happening in Swan Lake, what makes it unique, how difficult it is on the dancers. It just gives you some inside perspective. Community enrichment, Brenda touched on that nicely. So not only does the ballet perform on stage, but we also feel it's part of our service, our mission and our service to give back to the community. So we have funding that comes in, and we go into Title I schools, I believe about 62 of them right now, and we touch about 33,000 students and just introduce them to this art form. They also get to come to performances of Peter and the Wolf at both the Bass Performance Hall and Windspear to help teach them, how do you behave at a ballet? What am I seeing on stage, and how does this make me feel? How does this impact my life? So we try to make the art form relevant to the next generation. This is kind of the same thing, but we do believe that everybody should have access to this art form. We go throughout the community and perform as many places as we can. We go into schools. So if you have opportunities like that, definitely reach out to Brenda. We love to bring the student trainees or even the professional company into the community to help spread the word and just help people access this art form. Our school system, we have 3 of them. Our brand new studios in Fort Worth will have 7 studios, and we are hoping that we are going to move in at the end of this month, so that is super exciting. We are currently officing out of a dialysis center, and all the offices have eye wash stations and sinks, so we're really elevating this art form with this move, but it's a legacy for Fort Worth. It's a gift to the community. We are so excited to share it and open it up to students and just really preserve this art form for our culture. Oh, and the dance lab, yes. We also have a dance lab that seats about 250 people. So we plan to open that up to groups and community organizations so they can come in and see behind the scenes, up close and personal with the dancers. It just develops a different kind of appreciation for it when you see it.
Did y'all ever take field trips?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Come to the ballet, have your next meeting. You could have it in the dance lab. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
So the seats come out from the wall. They the stage is like huge, but the seats all come out. They're really comfortable. Sat in them yesterday. They're not uncomfortable. That makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
And it's an amazing, we have our own theater, so we can invite you in and talk about choreography, or maybe what we're gonna do for the next performance, and show you a little bit of the choreography, explain the ballet, or introduce the choreographer for the work that you're gonna see. There's all kinds of things that we can do for that. So it's really, really exciting.
Yes, and also we're going to start leading community tours every Thursday at 10. So if you or a group of people would like to come tour the new space, we would be happy to show it off and introduce you. What else do I have here? So something I always like to share, primarily in Dallas, they've been discussing the topic of the relevancy of ballet for the next generation. So I always like to leave you with something. This is the book. They flew in the author to have kind of question and answer session, but it's a great book to read. It's called The Audacity of Relevance by Alex Sarian. And it just discusses, what does ballet look like moving forward? What do the arts look like moving forward? Obviously, collaboration between the art forms is going to be necessary to preserve them. In this generation, kids watch their 30-second TikTok reels, and, how do you get them to hold their attention for a 2-hour ballet? But it's critical that we preserve the art form because it's such a unique experience to go and watch something live and have those feelings, have those conversations about what you just saw, and it just expands the mind. So that's something that we are very dedicated to preserving moving forward. Fun project that we have coming up. I guess I didn't have a slide on that, but I don't know if any of you watch public television, but there is a program called Empowered, and it's hosted by Meg Ryan. They approached us and was interviewing all the different ballet companies across the nation, and that is the topic that they wanted to do these little short documentary clips on, is what is ballet still relevant today? And obviously with the Tim, what's his name? That guy who said the things that ballet and opera are dead art forms. I mean, there was a lot of backlash on that. So I'm really excited that they decided to choose us to discuss this topic, and they're coming to film in September to, just get the story out there and highlight, why the arts are still relevant and need to be preserved. So stay tuned for that. It should be airing, I think, in November or December, and it'll go for the entire year. And that's all I have. I'm going to turn it over to you, Tim. Do you want to talk about the season?
I think Timothy did that just for his own publicity or whatever, because I just can't believe anybody would be that dumb to say something like that. That I really, it's, the arts are so important for us in whatever everybody needs a thriving arts community. And it's part of who we are as humans, and to express ourselves artistically. And you need that. You need healthy arts. It draws in businesses, and it adds so much to the community. We have incredible museums between Dallas. I think the strength of the visual arts is apparent. The performing arts have been challenged a little bit, I think, in the past. But things are changing, and I think that with the performing arts groups in Dallas and Fort Worth, they're unsurpassed, and the quality of the level of the performance is there. It's getting all of you to buy in and to understand what we're doing on the stage so that you can come to see something and go, oh, I get it. I understand what they're doing. I might not know everything about it, but you don't need to. When we do a mixed rep program, which we just did, that is not a named Swan Lake or Peter Pan or Coppelia or whatever we're doing, it's really the most interesting thing that we do throughout the year. It's different, 3 or 4 different things in one night. And I always say, like, if you don't like that one, close your eyes, go to sleep, wait for the next one. Or just listen to the music. The music is always interesting. But it's like going to different rooms in a museum. You're not always going to like what you see in that room, but you're still there, and you're seeing it, and you're experiencing that in the moment and what that means to you. Sometimes it means a lot. Sometimes you connect with it. Sometimes you don't. That's like a mixed bill. That's fabulous that you can have that experience and that we can present that to you. And we started out with a work that I did 4 years ago to the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. Very difficult, on point, white tutus. Whenever you wear white on stage, you may as well be naked. I mean, you can see everything. White is just, it's unforgiving. And when you know that you put your white tights on, you've got to be at your best, because it shows everything. So that was a very classical, very difficult piece to do. And then the next thing we did, the dancers were barefoot doing a Martha Graham work. And we were part of the celebration of Martha Graham. It's her 100-year celebration of the inception of her company. And that was publicized in the New York Times, that we were part of that celebration, as all the different companies around the country that were celebrating that very important achievement. And that Graham is still with us, and it's still relevant, and it's still important, and it's still fascinating. I never got to perform a Graham piece, so I'm so glad that I was able to bring a Graham piece to our company. Our dancers were able to experience a very different technique, but an incredibly important technique, because she's the foundation of contemporary ballet for all of us. Everything that we do, she's the foundation of it. So that's what I was trying to do, was to get these works so that my dancers, the company, you guys, we can all kind of grow together, and we can understand where things came from, because that's important. You understand the roots of classical ballet. You also need to understand the roots of contemporary dance, so that when we put something, we have a Brett Ishida, she's from Austin, and she's going to choreograph her work next year. She's very contemporary. So you have to have a frame of reference for where we're going and how I'm programming. So that's basically my job, is to program the seasons, pick the dancers for the company, auditions in our own school, but we fly around the country and we audition for dancers, and we also audition for our summer intensive. Our summer intensive will be held in our new building, but it's also at TCU because we use their dorms. So we have kids coming in age 12 up to 22, and they come from all over the country, and we're basically all fighting for the same kids around the country. And guys are hard to get, and they get a free ride on everything. Is that free, ladies? I don't know. I mean, is that fair? No, it's not fair, but that's the way it is. And it's just, we need scholarships as well for the guys. So that's a challenge for us. The school is growing, and it's really the lifeblood of the company. Some major companies don't pick a lot of students from their school. We do. Most of our company dancers have gone through our school, and that's the importance of the school. I need, like a baseball team, I need the people that are going to play the way I want, that are trained the way I want, that I need them to dance the way I want. They've got to fit in Swan Lake. They've got to be, those 18 ladies all have to be the same. They all have to be understanding and looking at ballet and dance the same way to look the same way. I've had challenges where I've had to hire people. In an hour and a half, you have to hire somebody for a year. That's really difficult to do. Go to an audition, pick somebody out. Oh God, are they gonna be okay? You know, you just like, they dance well, but what do they like to work with? You really don't know. It's really challenging. So I would much prefer to hire people from the school and work with them, even if they come in just for our 5-week summer intensive, and I get to work with them for 5 weeks and then give them a job. That's still a help as well. So like I said, we plan the season. We've already planned 27, 28. It's been decided. We work about out, which is important for contracts with the choreographer, with the lighting designer, with the set designer, especially if it's a new work that you're doing. And we try to do new creations for Texas Ballet Theater to give us our own face. So if and when we start to tour, which is a big challenge for us as well, we should be touring and we should be representing you guys around the nation and around the world. It costs money, right? And you don't make any money touring. So it's another cost, and it's an expensive art form. It's, the ladies, wear point shoes. We don't, the ladies do. All right, those point shoes, about $120,000 a year, the budget. That's just for the shoes. Because point shoes can wear out in one night, depending on what ballet you're doing. So it's a challenge, but how important is this art form? When you go to see Swan Lake and you experience it, it's been around since 1875, right? So something's got to be good about it, right? I mean, something has to be compelling and wonderful about this art form. And it is. We work for years and years and years training from when we're kids. And then you're expected to become somebody else on the stage. And that's really what it's all about, because we're all actors. That's what we do. We're just using this ballet technique to tell a story. And we don't have words. We just use our body. We use mime. If you come to Tim Talk, I'll talk about that a little bit more, and you'll get you all up doing some mime with your arms and how we express and talk to each other. And it's all because of our port de bras through first and second. The way that we use our arms, it's all through dance training, but you are communicating so that you guys have to understand what's going on and you get involved in the story, and that, we just don't walk across the room. We chasaku jete across the room, and how powerful that is and how exciting that is. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful art form, so compelling. I love going to the symphony. I love listening to the music, but then I'm always in my brain going, like imagining movement to that beautiful music or whatever, So we kind of give you that music, but we give you movement as well, and we give you a story. Sometimes it's contemporary, sometimes even Ben would always say, look, even if it's a contemporary ballet, whatever you're doing, you're telling a story. It might not be anything that you guys would pick up on, but subconsciously, we're communicating something from the stage, even when it's contemporary. So, like I said, I plan the season. We have 32 professional dancers. Before COVID, we had 42. We have 4 reps that we do. Before COVID, we did 5. So COVID hit us like it did everybody. Some companies didn't even make it. But we made it, and we are building back. And I need more dancers on the stage because, of course, we do Nutcracker, right? We're a tier 2 company. That means our budget is below 15 million. Our budget is about 12?
Actually, we're nearing 15.
Oh!
With this and the new building and increased operations, we will be tier 1. Yes. So I think the city deserves that.
Wow. You guys, you got some news today. I got some news today. That's awesome. That's what we've been working for. We are working for that. I came from Houston. I came from Houston Ballet. Ben built Houston Ballet into an international company. It's an amazing company. We can do that, easy. We got you all guys, all you need to do is come buy a ticket. That's all you need to do. Buy a ticket. That's all. Just buy a ticket and come and be part of this incredible experience. That's all you got to do. Once you do it, you're like, it's not that hard. Just drive down to Bass Hall Park, get out, sit down, and be entertained. That's all you need to do. But you need to support that, and it's really important. Or come to the new building and see something much more intimate in the new dance lab space, where you're this close to the dancers, and you can talk to them and ask them questions and like, what's it like when he's got you over your head and you're like flying through the air? And then you can think, oh, I got to land. I hope he puts me down on balance because I've got to go into something else right after that. I'd love to do an evening about pas de deux. Pas de deux is like dancing, 2 people. It's a pas de deux, all right? Or there's a pas de trois, or there's a pas de cinq, or there's a pas de six. You know where I'm going with that, all right? So there's different dances, but a pas de deux, there's some very famous pas de deux that we could show you how they're choreographed, why they work, how they work, what are the mechanics behind that. How cool, so that when you come to see Swan Lake and you see the white act or you see the black swan pas de deux, how great, so that you could really understand it. And you go, wow, I understand what they're doing, or I can appreciate that. You do for football. My brother, he's like, I want to come see it when the girls do this. Like, you mean bourrée? Yeah, I like it when they do that. I'm like, okay, can we get past that, please? I mean, he's like the #1 cowboy fan, all right? So, but he comes, and and even if he just likes to see that, that's great. He's in the theater. So, yeah, it's Swan Lake we're doing right now. I think it has everything. If you came to see, what a great entrance into the world of dance. It's kind of got the story, it's got classicism, it's got all the bells and whistles between the beautiful white act and then the challenging black swan pas de deux. And it's very difficult for the lady because she has to be very vulnerable and suffer in the white act. And then she has to be dynamic and a temptress and a completely opposite personality for when the prince gets tricked in the second act in the castle. So it's totally, we have 2 ladies that have, this is their first time to do it, 2 ladies who've done it before, and to see our dancers rise to the challenge. Last year when we did Giselle, all of them, it was their first time to do Giselle. I was like, I can't believe this. This is the first time our principal ladies have done Giselle. This is a classic. You have to do these things. These ballets are the standard. They set the standard for the company. This is the hard stuff, the hardest. for the whole company. All those swans that you see on the stage, really, really difficult to do everything that they do, to be in line, to be in their character, and just physically to get through it. The demands of the parts are incredible, but that's why we do that. Then we have neoclassic works like balancing works, and then we have contemporary works. So again, in programming, our mission is to preserve the classics, to do the classics, because that's a standard of the company, to do neoclassic works, and to create new works for the company, contemporary works. So I like the mix, and that the mix is the most important thing for the dancer, because you grow as a dancer. Because when you have just classical things, you kind of get stuck. But when you have contemporary or neoclassic things, you learn to move your body in new ways. You start to let go, and your classicism actually becomes easier and more fluid. And you guys may not kind of pick up on that, but we certainly do, looking at it every day, and you see the dancers grow. And we're the only company that can do that. I mean, there are wonderful contemporary companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or other companies, but they do one thing, but we have to do it all. So that's really, you guys have a very, very strong company. And so, yeah, you just come appreciate, what we do and the work that goes into it. And yeah, that's kind of what I do as an artistic director. And this audition, put this stuff together, teach class. The dancers always have class. Like this morning, I taught the studio training company, which is just below the company. And there's a lot of them are in Swan Lake. We'll use them. It's the way they get prepared to join a professional company. So I taught them, but our professional dancers have their warm-up class from 9 to 10:30. They have a 15-minute break. Then they go from 10:45 to 1:45, lunch from 1:45 to 2:45, and then come back for another 3 hours, 2:45 to 5:45. So that's their day of rehearsal. And people ask, well, what do they do for their real job? I'm like, they're a professional dancer. That is their real job. They don't do anything else. That takes everything just to be able to do that. So, do you have questions, you think?
Yeah, do you want to play the videos real quick for next season?
Yeah. Talk about next season, we're doing Kenneth Tyndall's Casanova. I just saw it in Tulsa. It was performed in LA. They're the size company that we are. So that was one of the reasons that Adeline and the poet Brett had that
That's Casanova. And then up next, what do we have?
should have Nutcracker. Nope.
Let's see here. Is it going? One more? All right. Nutcracker. One of the only ballets that run every December.
Anybody above 15 million budget.
next, I believe, is the mixed rep that Tim spoke on. One more. There we go.
This is a ballet called Celts, and Lila York was a Paul Taylor dancer, and she came to Houston Ballet, choreographed a number of works, and this Celts was also done on Boston Ballet, and great crowd pleaser, and it's, as you can hear, it's a lot of Irish music. It's about Ireland, but it's a closer, and then Kyle right there is is now on faculty at SMU. And he's a great guy, and I'm really done a couple of ballet, classic. You can see. So you can see like the different, and there's the Brett Ashita piece on that evening as well. So again, there's completely different pieces in one night, which is really exciting.
All right, last up, we'll end the season with Capella.
And this is Ben's Coppelia. Coppelia is like Giselle, like Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty. It's a fully classic.
This one is incredible.
They are Swanhilda and Fran, their girlfriend and boyfriend, and they all get teasing each other out. Be friends now. And it's to be a doll that has come to life. They actually brought his engagement to life. And Sasha being Dr. Cornelius, and he's trying to bring her to life. That part.
So if any of you are interested in our season brochures, Brenda has some with her, and there's also some at the front. I know we're probably cutting it close on time, so.
That's our season. Come see us. Thank you.
You all, many of you know, we've got something here for you. Margot Dean, and either know her personally or have heard of her here in Fort Worth, a long-time legend, and just an amazing lady. I've known her all my life, too. But she actually founded the Fort Worth Ballet Association in 1961, which is today known as Texas Ballet Theater. So it's, I think most of you would recognize her if you saw her. She's a really, really fine person. So we're very glad. This is wonderful.
Thank you for
It's
having
been wonderful. Okay, the Rotary Club normally makes a donation in honor of our guest speakers to Rotary International's Polio Plus Fund to further the efforts to eradicate polio in the world. Thank you all very much. Those are tied together, so maybe you can tell me.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for
Yeah, let's take
having
a
us.
picture with that. So thanks for the audience for patience and getting that little photo shot too. We're actually documenting some of the things we do here. Now, we have been hacked. This is really a very serious situation for our Facebook page, and I'm totally serious about it. We have a technical problem there. If any of you know a little bit about this, we need your guidance on it. And some of you have maybe nonprofits or companies that are on there, and maybe this has happened to you or have some idea. Now, we have followed the guidelines of Facebook, but they are just not responsive to us right now. So please talk to Aurora after this meeting if you have or know of somebody. There's some technical people out there. I kind of see one right over there. Maybe she knows how to do it, okay? Yeah, okay. All right, next week, the 15th, we'll have Dr. Alona Norton Westbrook, Director of the Modern Art Museum of North. That's going to be a good one too. And I want to close real quick with this. Sorry, I got a little page issue. It's a special day this weekend, so allow me to make these comments. As Rotarians, we often talk about being a legacy. Mothers are the ultimate architects of legacy. They shape our character and our values long before we ever join a service club. Whether they are walking beside us today or watching over us from above, we carry their lessons in everything we do. To those who will be calling or hugging their moms this Sunday, I hope you treasure every second. To those who will be honoring a mother in heaven, may your memories be a source of peace. A mother's love doesn't end with goodbye. It lives on in how we love, care, and remember. So, happy Mother's Day. The meeting is adjourned. Have a nice weekend.